There we go. We're live. Oh my god, my voice. Hey there, peeps. Detective Uwu here. Um, as you can see, the NFL is about to begin tomorrow. One of my favorite pastimes of the fall is watching football all weekend long, whether it comes from college ball to the NFL. I covered college ball with Pika about I want to say 2 weeks ago or something, and I thought today just cover some NFL stuff along with my week one predictions, which is going to be a thing now on the channel for at least live because I did him in post last year. I didn't want to do that again. Since I have time this fall to do stuff, and well, and also just to update you on Dublin and life stuff as well. So, first things first, with the matter at hand, Dublin. Oh boy, do I have a story for all of y'all. um, it was a trip. So the original plan was for us to go to take Wednesday the 20th and the Sunday the 24th as travel days to Dublin and from Dublin. Notice how I said original plan, because that's certainly not what happened. Um, so the flight that I was on for or the flight, because the thing is, they paid the athletics or whatever paid for the football team to get to Dublin, all in all, but they didn't pay for the band, and I don't think for the cheer. I'm not sure on the latter, but they certainly didn't pay for charter flights for the band. Meaning we had to take like three separate flights there and four separate flights back. As you can imagine, that didn't go down so well. With the my flight in particular on the way there, getting stuck in Kansas City for almost 6 hours before we finally left for Dallas. And then once we got there, it was like maybe like 11 o'clock. We were hoping to get there and then the plane would be ready to leave right away, but it took them like 3 hours for them to be ready. So we weren't supposed to leave until like 2 in the morning. And then we got boarded that plane, and then the same thing happened in Dallas, which happened in Kansas City. Maintenance issues on the plane. So we had to get off, and then they said they wouldn't be ready till the next day at 4 p.m. So now we'll have to scramble, get our stuff to hotels so we can at least get some shut eye. And it was at that point I'm just like, yeah, because there was also a possibility where they could have sent us home. Keep in mind, this is like maybe like 84 people out of 111 that were supposed to go to Dallas, or not to Dallas, to Dublin, that got stuck in Dallas. So it was it was very, very stressful on all of us. And yeah, at least we got there because they decided it'd be easier just for us all to go anyway. So we got there about a day late, and it was. I mean, when I got there, it's like I'm just gonna make the best of this. I only got 2 days. I don't have time to really do a whole lot, but at the end of the day, all that matters to me, I'm here. I earned this opportunity. And yeah, which it was a lot of fun despite all of this. We went to just some different pep rallies around Dublin. We went to the Guinness Storehouse, and the way we got there is probably my favorite part of the entire trip. We took like a Dublin bus tour, but for the people that were in Dallas, we were able to play on top of the buses. which was so cool. Like seeing the city while playing to the people there, and they were just like looking at us like, wow, like this is something very very different. And then we get to the storehouse, we eat a dinner, and then we do pub crawls there, which at K State, that's just basically us going from like area to area around the storehouse, playing for the people that were eating there, and it was a lot of fun. It was my first time ever doing like some sort of pub crawl, which is which it was an experience. I love doing that. And then we did like a pep rally as soon as we got back to like where we were staying at in Dublin. Um, but yes, it was a big day. I was tired by the end of it, but it was a lot of fun. And then Saturday was game day, so we had a rehearsal, and then we went to the game. I wish our play calling was better, and our offense did not show up until the second half, right around the same time Iowa State's did. So that was a bummer. And it, yeah, we ended up losing that game. Um, I hate losing to Iowa State. We've lost to them the last 3 years, so it stings. But but yeah, outside of all that, it was a lot of fun. It was. I got a little bit sick while there, unfortunately, and I spent like maybe like a week and a half recovering from it. I'm better now. I think maybe the worst is like a slight cough and slight runny nose, but outside of that, I basically recovered. And yeah, Sunday it was a lot smoother sailing getting back. Um, Again, separate flights, but unfortunately, or at least for me, it was smoother flighting. Unfortunately, for like 18 people in like Dublin, they overbooked on a flight, meaning some of them was stranded behind. I think it was like 10 of them, not 18, but they had to stay behind in Dublin, which I'm like, I feel like I'd rather be on that end than the one I was on. So, hey, you can't, beggars can't be choosers apparently, especially when it comes to freaking athletics. At least we got home early, and because I still had school the next day, so it was certainly it was certainly a lot, and um yeah, overall it was certainly an experience. I loved every bit that we were there. It was such a unique city to just explore for the time I was able to. I would probably want to go back because I want to experience the rest of Ireland, and because like Dublin's like only like one area of the entire country. Like you could go all the way out to like the coast for a day on the western side of the country and just spend the day there. It's that small where you can just like zoom across it in half a day or so. Spend the day there. Um, yeah, and there's a lot of history in Ireland too. I had my first Guinness there, which I didn't overdo it. I We were all offered like one glass in total because we're typically not allowed to drink on these types of trips. But yeah, hopefully it was um hopefully for others that they liked it, but as for me, I mean, if you know me, I'm already picky as it is. Yeah, I did not like the I did not like it. And no, I drank more than the freaking um than the bubbly part, the carbonation. I actually drank quite a sip, but yeah, I did not like it. Like you could tell by the like if you were there, you could tell by the facial expression that I made. Speaking of which, Face reveal, yeah. That was my little surprise to y'all. Um, if you want to go see it, it's just in the previous live stream I did here on YouTube. Um, I don't plan on doing like face cam things much. I don't even have a proper face cam, so the likelihood of me doing it is pretty slim. But who knows? Maybe that changes over um, the next few months or so. But let's see. Outside of that, I think that's it for Dublin. I got a little bit of a souvenir. I picked up a hat that I liked from there, so it's not much, but what are you gonna do? Outside of that, um, that should be it on Dublin. Um, as for life update, I'm back in school, junior year. We just finished our first football game of the season at home last Saturday. Um, I watched a video of our pregame and halftime. Halftime was pretty decent, but pregame, I did not like the look of pregame at all. Um, as for the game itself, I really don't want to go into details about that because that was a lot closer than it should have been. Um, we ended up winning by a score of 38-35 against an FCS North Dakota team who went 5-7 last year. For those of you who don't know, FCS is basically the league below FBS, which is the one K State plays in, and yeah, that's and as when you're a nationally ranked team at 17th, you have to be taking care of those games. The fact that it was that close makes me really, really nervous for K State season. But it's 2 weeks. We'll see how this goes. Hopefully, they can recover this weekend against Army. If they don't, we might be screwed. But yeah, K State dropped down to the rankings after that week with the loss to Iowa State and then the close game against North Dakota. I kind of saw the writing on the wall. Um, once I think once our play calling gets a little better, and the discipline too on the team, because we took care of business the last 1 minute and 45. We showed we can really, really handle the pressure when we need to. But yeah, we got to do better this upcoming week. Otherwise, it's gonna be a long season here in Manhattan. Life update. Continuing on with that. Um, I'm I'm lucky to usually have like Wednesdays and Thursdays mostly free. Meaning I can do stuff like this for the time being. I don't know if I want to continue doing live streams or if I just want to make videos. Videos will probably take longer, but the live streams might be too short for my liking. I don't know. I'll decide on that at some point. But for now, it is just but it's just gonna be live until I decide that it's gonna be better in a video. I don't know. We'll see. Um, but yes, we got 16 games to go through. Week 1 starts tomorrow with the kickoff game, which I'll get to here in a moment. This live stream shouldn't be too long, maybe about an hour or less. I don't want to be like stuck here streaming all day because I want to make myself dinner as well. Um, but yes, this is gonna be so basically. If you remember from last year, I'm not gonna pull it up right now. I made community posts about my predictions of every week. It's essentially this season's now gonna be no different, except instead of posts, it's gonna be a live stream. If you want to recap of how well I did last year, here's what I did. I went 177 and 95 in the regular season. Um, I went overall. I want to say. Let me look. 185 and 100 overall. Um, so if you want to account for that, let me do the math real quick. It should be about like 60%. Yeah, about 64.9% of games I predicted correctly. And if you want to do the math for the regular season, 65% even. So I basically predicted 65% of my games correctly. So in about 16 games, I should be aiming for about 10 to 11 correct predictions each week. So basically going 10 and 6 or 11 and 5 each week. I'm also doing something a bit different. I'm also participating in a group for my predictions just to go up against other people because it's a little fun when there's a little bit of competition. Um, I think it's called the Grossi Posse because I'm a fan of Tom Grossi. I'll admit that right now. Love the skits that he does, especially scripted, which it's a lot of fun. If you haven't seen them, I highly recommend you go see them. But yeah, so week one. Let's start off this madness by predicting each and every game, starting with the NFL kickoff game. Thursday night football between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, my man. So, I think this is probably one of the easiest predictions I'll make all week. Philadelphia is the defending champion. They just knocked off the Chiefs in Super Bowl 59. I forget what the score is. I think it was like 40-22 or something like that. It was a complete blowout of a game. I really don't want to discuss that further, so I won't. Philadelphia lost some key pieces in the offseason, but they still got their core together, so expect not much of a decline from Philly this year. They'll be Super Bowl contenders once again. As for the Cowboys, ay ay ay. Dallas is a Dallas is a train wreck. They just traded away Michael Parsons to the Packers for two firsts and Kenny Clark, which right now does not look like a great deal. They hired Brian Schottenheimer over the offseason, and the only notable thing they did was pick up George Pickens through the trade with the Steelers. So right now, it's not looking great for Dallas. So it's in Philadelphia. All the chips are stacked against Dallas for this game, and I'm gonna go against Dallas in this game because I mean, yeah, I can't really expect Philadelphia to take a loss this right off the bat. Maybe if it was against like I don't know, like Washington or Detroit, maybe, but week one against Dallas, that's not a great kickoff game, unless you're an Eagles fan, which I know someone who happens to be one. But yeah, that I got Philly winning this game. If you want a score prediction from me, jokingly 65-8 or 65-7. Reality, I want to say maybe like 34-10. Expect the Eagles to light up the Cowboys in week one. Friday. We got a game on Friday. The Kansas City Chiefs against the Los Angeles Chargers in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Hello, Mini Mail. How you doing? Uh, as a Chiefs fan, I don't like this. But at the same time, Philly kicked off their Super Bowl run in Brazil, so I guess I can't really complain too much. The field in Brazil wasn't great last year, and I'm not expecting it to be any better this year. Um, so yeah, already I'm not liking this great game a lot. It's also a debate of how much each team is going to play the starters because they really do not want to have injuries, like season-ending injuries, in Brazil right now, especially with the schedules each of these two teams have. Kansas City, obviously the runner-ups last year, they won the AFC for the third straight year. and made it to Super Bowl 59. The Chargers, first year under Jim Harbaugh last year, they made noise. They went to the playoffs as the fifth seed before getting blown out by the Texans in the wild card round. So both teams are looking to have their own kind of respective bounce back years in a way. Chiefs are trying to win the Super Bowl again. Chargers are trying to at least get a playoff victory with Justin Herbert because he has not have one yet. Should take a playlist for all your sports TED Talk. Oh my god. You know what? Maybe. Um, I think. Oh yeah. After each under each of these, you can see how many people like the odds, like the betting odds, and the percentage of people who picked each of these teams. Um, I gotta give it to the Chiefs. You don't want to go into Philly own one or a game against Philly own one next week, and then have you potentially get dropped to 0-2. The Chiefs are going to be playing with a massive chip on their shoulder. They're going to go out, beat whoever is in front of them in week one because they want to start the redemption tour. I think the Chargers are a good team still, but when you go up against the Chiefs when they're kind of ticked off like this, there's not much you can do. Next up, we're gonna go in order. So we got a noon game on Sunday to start off with the Sunday noon games. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Atlanta to battle the Falcons. Tampa Bay, pretty much all their pieces have returned. Baker Mayfield's still the quarterback for the Bucks. They're the favorites still to win the NFC South. They went 10-7 last year, made it to the wild card round before getting knocked out by Washington. Atlanta was supposed to win the division last year, according to a lot of experts from ESPN, the NFL, whatever. Kirk Cousins did not show a lot of great potential as like a vet, but Michael Penix Jr. is there going to be their starting quarterback this year. Um, it's I honestly think he won't do too bad. He's got the weapons around him to do it. They still have like Kyle Pitts. I think they have Bijan Robinson, I believe, still. Um, yeah, I think Atlanta's offense is going to be pretty dang good, but the defense is what's kind of concerning for me. I'm not trusting the defense whatsoever. Week one, I'm I'm almost tempted to pick Atlanta here, just as this new upcoming team. They want to make noise in the first game, but I'm gonna go with Tampa. I like what they brought back. Um, I, they got swept last year by the Falcons in the regular season, and I really don't think they want to lose to the Falcons to start off this year. So I gotta go with Tampa this game. Next up, we got the Cincinnati Bengals against the Cleveland Browns at noon on Sunday. Oh boy, a tale of two very different Ohio teams. Start with Cincinnati. Last year, they missed the postseason just barely. Um, Definitely a down year for the Bengals. They typically usually have the slower starts. Um, they um but this year they did get Trey Hendricks back on defense, which is going to be huge considering since this defense is a big factor of why they didn't make the postseason last year. The offense is going to score a lot with Burrow and Chase still, and it's going to be it's definitely going to be an interesting year in Cincinnati. Because you wonder if they miss the postseason again, is there anything that's going to change on the sidelines or on the field? Meanwhile, in Cleveland, yes, Watson is out for the year, which for Browns fans they're relieved, but your set of QBs are not that great. You got Joe Flacco, you got Dylan Gabriel, and Shador Sanders. Flacco's supposed to be the starter in week one. He's like this old journeyman veteran. He helped the Browns last year to a wild card berth, or not last year, 2 years ago to a wild card berth. But But last year the Browns went 3-14. One of the worst. Actually, it was tied for with a couple of teams for the worst record in the league. So you're not expecting much as a Browns fan this year. Um, I everything in my gut's telling me Cincinnati, so I'm gonna have to go with Cincinnati, even though they do start off slow. I don't think it's enough just to stumble in week one against the Browns. If they do, then since they might be putting on the panic button, they might hit that panic button real darn quick. Let's see. Next up, we got the Miami Dolphins and the Indianapolis Colts at noon on Sunday. Oh boy. Miami, they're good. They're talented. They got a great offense and a pretty um middle of the road defense. But their problem is they can't stay healthy. Tagovailoa went down with some concussions early on last year. They were missing key pieces on offense for all the freaking time. When they got one back, another would go on the IR. If the Miami Dolphins can stay healthy, they're definitely a playoff contender. But the moment they start losing pieces, this team goes downhill fast. Meanwhile, in Indy, um, they are letting Daniel Jones start over Anthony Richardson. The Richardson experiment is not looking great right now. And you can argue that it was probably one of the worst picks um, of the of the 2020. I want to say, I think it was 23 draft. I think that's when Richardson was picked. But Indy has struggled to find their starter for years since Andrew Luck retired. Um, so don't expect much from Indy this year. Who wins this game though? I still gotta go Miami. Miami is they got all their pieces at least for now, and unless unless the Colts can rally together and behind Daniel Jones, there's not much hope for Indy in this game at least. Noon game we got on Sunday. We got the Las Vegas Raiders going to New England to take on the Patriots. Ooh, these two teams were god awful last year, but they both made significant movements in the offseason. The Raiders, they have their new head coach in Pete Carroll. They drafted Ashton Genty, and they have Geno Smith as their starting quarterback this year. Um, so it's gonna be an interesting year in Vegas. I think this team will be fun to watch, but considering their other three AFC West opponents all made the postseason last year, I can't see the Raiders making it. Maybe next year if they make enough noise this year. I think they can make the postseason next year, but not this year unless something crazy happens. Meanwhile, New England. Um, this is my little. I don't think they'll make the postseason, but they'll definitely make a lot of noise this year. The Patriots have Mike Vrabel as their new head coach. Um, that's their big improvement over Drake Mayo. Their starting quarterback, I believe, should be still be May. I don't. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure they didn't bench May. Um, but yeah, he's been fine. He obviously had his like rookie year struggles last year, but I think he'll fare well. Um, they did they are expected to be a lot better than I think it was like 4-13 last year. But yeah, let's see. I think who wins this game? I don't know. It is in Foxborough, so yeah, it's gonna be a fun. That's gonna be a fun game. It on paper it doesn't look very interesting, but when you get these two teams on the field, I think it will be an interesting game. I'm gonna go with the Raiders here. I like their offensive additions over the offseason. I do like the Patriots. Don't get me wrong. I think they'll be around 500 this year. That's my little wild take on the Patriots. But with the Raiders also improving, it's gonna be a difficult week one. This could go either way. Um, this could be one where I'm just like not very confident in. But yeah, uh, another Sunday game at noon. We got the Arizona Cardinals going to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Um, I'm gonna go with Arizona. It seems a little easy to pick, but the thing is about New Orleans, Derek Carr went into retirement because of his shoulder injury. So who's going to be really starting at QB this year? Spencer Rattler? Yeah, it's not really much. Meanwhile, on the Cardinals side on the Cardinals end, Kyler Murray really needs to get his team to the at least to the postseason, if not getting a win there, just because this is like his last straw. If he does not show any signs of improvement over the course of the year, this could this could be the end of the Kyler Murray era in Arizona. So he has to get off to a strong start, and facing the Saints in Week 1, he gets a little bit of a gift. Um, the Saints, they're going for the number one overall pick. They're tanking this year, which is long overdue. Meanwhile, the Cardinals are trying to get to the postseason this year. They're trying to beat out everyone in the West for at least a wild card spot. Give me the Cardinals in this game. Yeah, it should not be very close. Um, another Sunday game at noon. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers going to East Rutherford to take on the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers' revenge game part one. I say part one because he faces two of his both of his former teams this year. Pittsburgh picked up Aaron Rodgers. They traded away George Pickens though, and they do have Will Howard. So hopefully Rodgers will trade up Will Howard. Pika and I like Will Howard for different reasons, but forgot about Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah. Yeah, Junior's supposed to be a lot more of a factor for the Cardinals this year. Mm-hmm. Tank Bowl? No. The Cardinals are trying to get somewhere. The Saints are actually trying to tank. So, but anyways, the Steelers. Um, this could go really well or really horribly, or it could just be about what the same is in these days in the Mike Tomlin era. I'm expecting this team to maybe go like 9-8, but who knows? Meanwhile, the Jets, they took Pittsburgh's QB in Justin Fields, so it's a little bit of a revenge game for him too. Um, I don't know how much this team will actually improve. I'm not expecting much, but this team could surprise me. I don't know. But week one, I just got to go Pittsburgh here. They're built more to at least get to the playoffs. They're a playoff contender. Meanwhile, the Jets, I love the defense. I love Sauce Gardner and all that, but they got a new front office this year and a new head coach. It's gonna take time. Don't expect much from week one for the Jets. Another Sunday game. We're about halfway. We're halfway there, y'all. Week one Sunday game at noon. We got the New York Giants against the Washington Commanders. Right away, if you know football, it just does not look like a good matchup. And honestly, it probably won't be. But the thing about the Giants is, I don't think they'll be boring this year. They're not going to be as big of a tanker as you may think. They do have Russell Wilson and Jackson Dart as QBs. I think Wilson's going to be the starter for Week 1. So, and they do have Abdul Carter, which is going to be a very fun. The Giants are going to have a very fun defense. I don't know if it'll be a lot. I don't think it'll be great, but it's not going to be like completely terrible. But Washington though, they just came off an NFC championship appearance. Jaden Daniels is hopefully going to improve. Maybe he'll have a sophomore slump a little bit. They just got Scary Terry back, Terry McLaurin back on the contract. Um, but yeah, some shifting towards Washington, also being a home game. So I'm also going to go with Washington. I think the Giants are going to be a lot of fun. I think they might pull off an upset or two this year. Maybe a crazy one that no one expects, but I don't think it's going to be here. I think Washington's going to get on the right foot. They're going to get this win in week 1 and go to Green Bay next week, hoping for a 2-0 start. Um, Another noon game. We got the Carolina Panthers taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Carolina is looking for a lot of improvement from Bryce Young in year 3. We got some last year in his sophomore season when it started off so terribly. I think benching him was probably the best idea Carolina had for him in his entire career. Because once Andy Dalton got out there, kind of struggled a lot, Bryce Young found his footing a little bit, and he was able to show some signs of potential like people were expecting him to have in his rookie year. One here. Yeah, I'm going Commanders too. But yes, I think it is going to be an interesting um, time in Carolina because you just don't know what's going to happen at this point. Meanwhile, in Jacksonville, new head coach and Liam Noam. You still got Trevor Lawrence on your team, and you picked up Travis Hunter in the draft. So it's a very exciting time down in Jacksonville. They also got rid of their general manager, Trent Baalke or whatever his name is. So it's a lot of optimism in Jacksonville as well. So both of these teams are hoping to come up on the start off strong. Who am I going with? I actually am going to go with Carolina here. I think Bryce Young is going to really try to make sure he shines this season. I think it's going to start off in Jacksonville. It could go either way. I really think it does, but I got to go with Carolina here, just because I like what they're doing a little bit more in Carolina than Jacksonville to start off. I think Jacksonville is going to be a pretty decent team this year, but it's going to take time. Travis Hunter is not going to be lights out right away. It's going to take time, maybe a few weeks. So give me Carolina in week 1. Sunday, we got the Tennessee Titans and the Denver Broncos at 3:05. This is the start of our late afternoon games. So Tennessee, they got the number 1 overall pick in the draft. They took Cam Ward. Expect the Titans to not suck this year. They're gonna really. I think they found their franchise QB. I like Cam Ward, but the problem for him is the defense he's gonna have to face in Denver this week. Um, the Broncos are also coming off a wild card berth. Um, a surprise wild card berth. Sean Payton really did find his QB in Bo Nix, and yeah, they have the reigning defending player, the reigning defensive player of the year. I think in Cortland's. I think it was. Who was it? Was it Sutton, or am I confusing my names? I think it was Sutton, but anyways. But it's gonna be a tough outing for Ward in week 1. Oh, it's Patrick Satan. That's who. I think Sutton's a wide receiver. But yeah, Sutton, reigning defensive player of the year in Denver. Um, I think the Texas Survivor Island. Yes, I did. Um, Speaking of what's going Denver, um, I'm gonna go with Denver as well. I think Ward's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a lot closer of a game than people anticipate. But I still am gonna go with Denver. Cam Ward's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. It's gonna take time for him to improve, but I think Denver. I think Denver does pull this out. Expect this game to be a lot closer than it should be. Um, we got Sunday at 3:05. We got the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. San Francisco, just like the Dolphins, suffered a lot of injuries last year, which completely tanked their season. But unlike the Dolphins, they actually have seasons where they can stay healthy. 2 years ago, they were in the Super Bowl, and now they're looking to do something similar. They got a lot of their key pieces back. They got McCaffrey back. Um, and even though they are missing some personnel, they do look to be dangerous again. Meanwhile, in Seattle, they got Sam Darnold as their QB. Um, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't like Seattle. I don't like Seattle's chances a lot. I really do think they're gonna be like maybe like 5-12, 6-11 this year. I'm not liking Seattle at all, just because I looked at their schedule, and it does not look very promising. Sam Darnold also really got exposed in his final two games with Minnesota, and I'm not liking Seattle at all. This is an easier pick for me. I'm going San Francisco here, unless he shows his worth. I gotta go with San Francisco, the proven team here in this game. Let's see. Despite all their lost pieces, we got some 325 games. This is America's game of the week. We got the Detroit Lions going to Green Bay to take on the Packers. And what a time for this to be the game of the week. We got Detroit coming off the number one seed of 15-2 season. A disappointing end to it, though, with a loss to the Commanders in the divisional round. And they did lose a lot of personnel over the offseason, including their offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, who went to the Bears to become their head coach. So it's going to be a bit shaky for Detroit. Meanwhile, in Green Bay, it's the opposite direction. They got Matthew Golden as their wide receiver in the first round. The first time they did that in like 23 years or something. And they picked up Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys in a trade. Their defense is going to be a bit scarier this year, and their offense a bit more explosive. And Detroit is my pick to win the Super Bowl this year, but they're not my pick to win this week. I'm going Green Bay. I think the momentum the Packers are riding right now is a bit too high for Detroit to handle. I think Detroit will get them in the revenge game in Detroit later on this year. But for now, you got to go with the Packers. Um, I like, I love all the offseason moves the Packers made, especially the Michael Parsons trade. That really, they really won that. And I think Detroit's gonna have maybe a game or two where they are trying to find themselves after they have lost pieces. And yeah, I think I'm happy with my Packers pick. All right, the 325 game, the final, I believe one of the final ones. The Houston Texans going to SoFi Stadium to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Um, Houston. Um, they did make the postseason last year again. Beat the Chargers after winning the AFC South for the second straight year, before falling to the Chiefs in the divisional round. Um, I think some of their pieces are staying the same. I don't know if Mixon is. I don't know if he's playing this week. I want to say he is, but I don't know. Yeah, he's still on IR, so it's gonna be. They don't have their star running back, so it's gonna be questionable how well the offense really performs. But the Rams also are dealing with injuries. Matthew Stafford is starting to get shaky in LA. They lost Cooper Cup in the offseason though. as well. So the Rams and Texans are both lacking some pieces. It's going to be an interesting game to say the least. I think both of these teams are still capable of winning the divisions, but I'm going to go with Houston in this game. I think the Rams lost a little too much over the course of the offseason leading up to Week 1, and I think the Texans do take advantage of that. Um, yeah, give me Houston. So we got two more games now. The Sunday night and Monday night game. Sunday night, we got the Baltimore Ravens going to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills. This is a rematch of the AFC divisional round last year in Orchard Park, where the Bills won on a dropped Mark Andrews 2-point conversion pass, which would have sent the game to overtime. Both of these teams are going to be playing with massive chips on their shoulder. Both of these teams have star QBs. For the Ravens, it's Lamar Jackson, and for the Bills, it's Josh Allen. Both of these teams are trying to get to the Super Bowl and win it. And you'd think if they can't get there, it could be sounding the alarms in both cities. Um, Josh Allen's the reigning MVP. The Ravens still have Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, and Mark Andrews for offensive weapons. The Bills don't have a lot, but Josh Allen can prove he's capable of doing a lot. I think I'm going to go with the Bills in week 1. It's at home, it's in Buffalo. The Bills typically have the Ravens number, especially in Buffalo. Even though it is the regular season where the Ravens, I think, do have a little bit more of an even chance, but I think the Bills take week 1 and get off to the start that they so desperately need in their make or break year. Finally, we got the Monday night game. We got the Chicago Bears hosting the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to be honest, I don't know about JJ McCarthy. He came off of a season-ending injury last year, which he missed the entire season, which allowed Sam Darnold to be Sam Darnold for Minnesota last year. And every year, Minnesota has a fantastic season. They usually digress a lot. So, I'm expecting the same here from Minnesota this year. I do like JJ. I think he's going to be a pretty decent QB, but I just don't think Minnesota's going to have what it takes this year. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, the Bears picked up Ben Johnson as their new head coach from Detroit. Caleb Williams is supposed to be better this year after a sluggish rookie season. Although it wasn't entirely his fault. Matt Eberflus is a terrible coach. And yeah, I'm liking what the Bears. I'm liking what's on the Bears this year. I really do think they're going to be a sneaky wildcard contender. And I think it starts off here with a home win. I think this is my upset pick. I want to say. I think this might be my big upset of the week. I was tempted to go with the Browns or the Falcons here, but I have to go with the Bears. I had to go with the Bucks and the Bengals. But this game, I'm completely comfortable picking Chicago here. I think the Bears need to prove that they can hang with these bigger teams, and I think the Bears get off to the right foot, take this first game, and how many points? I'm going to go... I think it's going to be like a 30 to 23 game, so I'm going to go with like 53. That's 52. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, that's going to be my predictions for week 1. Yes, I plan on doing this every single week. If you want to make your own, like, Pick'ems account, see how well you guys do, you just have to make, like, a little account on ESPN, whatnot. And it's completely free. all that. I'm part of the Grassy Posse, whatever group. Yeah, the Grassy Posse. If you want to battle me and a bunch of other football fanatics in there, by all means, join the group. Um, as for my schedule, I plan on going live maybe like twice a week, once every Wednesday or Thursday for this, and then every weekend, whether it's like a Saturday or Sunday, doing stuff with friends. I'm hoping to go live this Sunday. If not, I'll be back on Wednesday doing this. And then every week after this, I'll be recapping each week. I'll go through my record for this past week, all the way out to the postseason, which will be very similar to what I did last year as well. So, with that in mind, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to share the channel around. It helps me grow. I don't know if you guys have a hype feature, because I remember seeing that on like Twitter that was gonna be added. If you do, please hype this, because it helps me. It helps people like know like who I am, what I do, whatnot, and yeah. It helps. It really helps me grow. Probably more than commenting and liking and subscribing does, but still do all those things. Hoping maybe like golf for Uno next week with some of the with the other outsiders as well. I'll talk to them about it. Um, but yeah. With that being said, see you later, peeps. Thanks for watching, and we are so back with football.